Underwater, I find, is an escape into the realm of tranquility. This unfathomable, weightless dream world would be described only by the unimaginative as nice, or that's deep, isn't it?
Oh, that is deep, isn't it? That's nice.
Rather cleverly to my mind, I avoided that trap.
Oh, that's lovely. Yes.
Eleonora and her husband have created this clay-lined aquatic wonderland from what was an unsightly and unnavigable farmyard pond.
What's the pool building experience been like for you?
It's been amazingly quick. We've thought about one, or I've thought about one for a few years, and we've started doing some research last year, and then finally found that we could do it in clay instead of concrete and plastic and so on. And so we did some reading in May. We started work in 4th of July, and we swam in rather murky water by the 31st of July. So it's just been really exciting. A lot of thinking, but really quick doing, which has been great for us. And it's just glorious. It's been really warm and sunny, so the water's warm, and so we've swum every day, at least once every day.
Groundswork contractors removed surrounding scrub, detritus and mulm accumulated over the years, excavating down to a level of clean clay. When wet and compressed, the clay puddles to form a water impermeable layer, and with a clay liner we have the option to drive in oak posts directly into the ground to support poolside structures. A serpentine of drainage pipes is placed over the white geotextile and covered in coarse gravel to form the base of the planted filter beds. With clay, any slope should be very gentle, otherwise it will gradually slump to the bottom. However, here the decision was taken to dig the pool profile steep but deep, around 4 metres, to take account of any future underwater ground movement and still be left with a good depth for swimming. The olive biofilter was invented by me, so I'm an unreliable source on this matter. The olive suppresses algae and seeds the pool with beneficial bacteria.
We looked at big pumps and so on, and then we found your site on using airlift for it, and we decided that was the best thing, and there are lots of reasons, but one of them is that you're not mixing electricity and water. You're just pumping air around the pond, so you don't need any qualified electricians to make sure your connections are right. You know, the compressor's in the shed in the dry all by itself, and it's only air that's coming out. And 2, it's very cheap and economic to run because it uses almost no power. But thirdly, and maybe most importantly, is that it's really kind on any wildlife that gets sucked through the system, and it's a little bit like a sort of a water nymph's jacuzzi. You know, it goes up through the bubbles and comes out the top, and it's perfectly unharmed, and will be fine again to go through another turn if it wants. You know, it's a bit like a flume at a swimming pool, I think, but in reverse. So that's really great. And one of the things that I've loved most about the pond since we've started it is that it's already full of wildlife. There's daphnia, there's water beetles, there are whirligig beetles. We've got lots of mayfly nymphs and things like that. We've got water boatmen, what's the other one? Pond skaters. You know, loads and loads of wildlife already, and it's only been up a couple of months.
And the kingfishers.
Oh yeah, we had a kingfisher. And about my 3rd swim, I was swimming up that end, and a barn owl flew past. And I mean, you know, what could be more beautiful